Eradan, it is good to see you safe. Eladan and Elro here told us of your actions at Fornost. Such courage and skill brings honor to all the Dúnedain.
Indeed. It is an honor to welcome one so brave to my home, and your companions as well.
I am grateful for what you did at Fornost. If Agandaûr's forces had joined in the hunt, there is little chance that I and my charges would have made it here to safety.
I thank you for the welcome. Are you the master of these halls?
Yes, I am Elrond Half-Elven, Lord of the Refuge of Imladris, or as you know it, Rivendell.
Half-Elven? What does that signify?
Both my sire, Earendil, and my mother, Elwing, had fathers who were of the Edain, the most noble of the men of old. They and their descendants are called the Parenthil, which means the Half-Elven.
Are you then of mortal kind, like other men?
To each of the Parenthil is given a choice, whether to become mortal or to accept the life of the Eldar, the Elves. Long ago, I chose to be counted among elven kind. My own children will face this choice as well.
I'm glad to see you made it here in one piece, Aragorn. But I still have no idea why your mission was so urgent.
I think it is time we told our newfound friends what they have gotten themselves into.
Gandalf, so you are involved in this as well?
Indeed. Wherever there is trouble and strife, and the enemy is stirring, there you will find Gandalf the Grey.
Well then, can you explain why the enemy is so eager to get his hands on a poor little hobbit?
You have more than earned such an explanation. Tell me, what do you know of Isildur's Bane?
Isildur's Bane? That is another name for the Ring of Power.
Quite right. The Ring of Power. The One Ring. The ruling ring. After lying lost and nearly forgotten for centuries, Sauron's ring has once again been found.
Do you mean to say the halfling Aragorn rescued has come into possession of the Dark Lord's ring?
I see now how close we came to complete ruin. But what will become of the ring, now that it is safe in Rivendell?
There is no safe resting place for the ring. Not even here in Imladris. It is a danger to all who come near to it. There is only one course left to us. The ring must be destroyed.
To do so, the ring will need to be cast into the same fires from which it was forged. Those of Mount Doom, in the land of Mordor. The hobbit, Frodo Baggins, has agreed to take it there.
You're not going to send a hobbit off to Mordor alone.
No, certainly not. A fellowship will be formed. A fellowship of 9. 9 walkers set against Sauron's 9 Black Riders. Among this fellowship will be representatives of all the free peoples of the world. Elves, dwarves, and men. Aragorn and I will both be going.
What can the rest of us do to assist you?
The Nazgûl and Agandaûr are dire threats. We must learn all we can of their movements before the Fellowship is to depart. Scouts will be sent out in every direction to scour the lands around Rivendell. Your aid in this would be of great service to our cause.
Very well. Where should we start?
Agandaûr is our chief concern. Although the Nazgûl are powerful foes, our mission here in the north is abundantly clear. We can only guess what Agandaûr may be planning, or where he went after he escaped from you.
I suspect he may be planning to move against us here. Sauron's hatred of the elves is very great, and he does not forget the hand we played in his defeat during the War of the Last Alliance.
If it is strength he wants, he may well find it among the Etenmoors.
You know that region better than I. What can you tell me of the Etenmoors?
The Etenmoors are a spur of the Misty Mountains, lying almost directly north of Rivendell. It is a wild region of very rugged terrain, home to many trolls and giants.
I myself was in the Etenmoors but days ago. I saw no sign of Agandaur's presence, but neither did I encounter trolls. That fact alone is troubling. It could be that they are gathering in force, somewhere among the moors.
If so, it is best we learn of it before they can take us by surprise. We will scout the Ettenmoors to see what we can discover.
From what I have heard of you, from Aragorn and Elrond's sons, I expected no less. Still, you have had a long road and hard fighting to get this far. Take what time you need to rest and recover before you set out. The Ettenmoors are a dangerous place for the unprepared.
The hospitality of my house is yours for as long as you wish.
Ah, Eradan. It is good of you to seek me out. You have grown into a fine man of the Dúnedain. Your recent deeds of valor have proven your worth.
At Fornost, one of the great eagles came to our aid. Perhaps the eagles could help with the ring.
I don't fault you for thinking along those lines. Why not beg a ride from an eagle, fly far out to the west, and drop the ring into the deepest part of the sea? Such ideas were debated at Elrond's council. But there are many things in the deep waters, and seas and lands may change. We cannot think of our time alone. We must destroy this thing forever.
This man, Agandaûr, have you ever had word of him before?
Though I know nothing of Agandaûr himself, I have seen his kind at other times in distant lands. He is likely a black Númenorian, and a master of dark sorceries.
For years I've patrolled the Shire at Aragorn's orders. I worry it may not be safe for me to abandon that duty.
Aragorn knows where you are most needed, Eradan. With the flight of the ring in this direction, the enemy is looking this way, and has forgotten the Shire for now. For now. But eventually his eye will turn once again toward the Shire, as humble as it is. Hobbits as miserable slaves would please him far more than hobbits happy and free. And there is such a thing as malice and revenge. Sauron will leave the final devastation of the Shire to his servant Agandaûr. And that is yet another reason why you must find him and put an end to his designs. In opposing Agandaûr, you are defending the Shire.
The Dúnedain kingdom of Arnor fell long ago. There's nothing left in much of the north save ruins. Why would Sauron build a force here?
Sauron seeks dominion over all of Middle-earth. His desire is to order all things as he sees fit. Even were these lands empty from here to the sea, still he would seek to control them. There is power in Rivendell that could stand against him when all others fall, for a time. And this is something Sauron cannot allow.
When first we spoke, you said you recently passed through the Ettenmoors. Can you tell me more?
It is a rough and empty land, home to many trolls. I passed through with great haste, for I needed to reach Rivendell as quickly as I could.
And you saw no sign of trolls?
I saw neither trolls nor fresh signs of them, and that disturbs me more than encountering one. I doubt they've all packed up and left. Mindless brute creatures they may be, yet they can be used and driven to even greater wickedness by a strong enough hand. Agandaûr could well be forming them into an army.
You believe he is mustering the trolls for an attack?
That is my fear. I would gladly be proven wrong, but my heart misgives me that somewhere in the Ettenmoors you will find them gathering and being prepared for war. We must know. Such a force could be sent against Rivendell, perhaps in hopes of capturing the ring.
Then I'll gather my friends and scout the moors. We'll learn the truth of the matter.
Greetings to you, Eradan. I am pleased to welcome you to my home. I had heard your name spoken with praise by Aragorn even before these recent events. You have more than proven the value of his judgment. The Dúnedain are often our guests here in Imladris, but I would be pleased if you would consider this house as your home whenever you may have need of it. But I gather you are here for more than an exchange of pleasantries. Do you have questions for me?
I found this scroll at Fornost. I thought it best to bring it to your attention.
A wise decision. This is writ in the black speech of Mordor, a language I will not utter here. It is intended to instruct the reader in the use of dark sorceries.
If there is power to be gained from this scroll, should we not make use of it ourselves?
Have a care, Dúnedain. You tread on dangerous ground when you harbor such thoughts. This, like all works of the enemy, is altogether evil. Any who make use of this, even from a desire to do good, will only be corrupted by it. Surely the ring has taught us that much.
What is the Black Speech?
A language devised by Sauron when he desired a single tongue to be spoken by all who serve him. He had small luck introducing it to the scattered tribes of orcs and trolls, but it is still used by his highest-ranking servants.
Then it is good that we captured this from the enemy before it could cause further harm. What will become of it?
I will destroy this scroll at the very least. But wait, here I discover more. Listen to what is written herein. Scribed by the hand of Agandaûr, disciple of the great lord Sauron, for the empowerment of his servant Wulfrun and those others of his faithful who prove worthy. I will speak no more of these blasphemies, but it does say that this scroll is one of 7 such works.
7 at the time of this writing. But could it be that Agandaûr has created more since?
Perhaps, but creating something of this nature is not a matter of simple scribing. Considerable preparation and effort is involved. We have reason to hope there are no more than 7.
So 6 more remain. Perhaps we can capture them as well.
That would be a great service to our cause. Should you recover them all, bring them to me, and I will ensure they are destroyed.
I will be certain to do so.
In the meantime, please accept this in appreciation for bringing this matter to my attention. Perhaps it will be of service to you in your travels.
There is something else. I found this tome hidden amid the ruins at Fornost. It appears to be quite old.
Ah, now this is writing of an altogether more wholesome sort. This was not made by any minion of Sauron, but rather by the men of Arthedain, likely before the fall of Fornost.
Then it is old indeed, for Fornost was abandoned long ago.
It is more than 1,000 years since the Witch King of Angmar conquered Fornost and brought about the end of the Dúnedain Kingdom of Arthedain. What a grim day it was.
Tell me about this realm of Arthedain.
Arthedain was the last fragment of the great northern kingdom of Arnor. The heirs of Isildur ruled as kings of Arthedain until it too was destroyed by the enemy.
Yet the line of kings has remained unbroken. This much I know well.
It is true Isildur's line has remained unbroken, but without a kingdom to rule, they have not claimed the title of king and have been known simply as chieftains of the Dúnedain. It is our friend Aragorn who currently bears that title, although he will be the last to do so. Either he will become a king, or Isildur's line will come to an end with him.
Perhaps this book is a record of those days long past. The pages are too worn and the writing too faded for me to make out much. Perhaps you can discover more.
Indeed. It seems to be a personal journal. And here is a name inscribed. M-A-L. Why, this appears to be a work of Malbeth, the seer of Arthedain.
Malbeth? The name seems somewhat familiar.
Many of the Dúnedain race are gifted with foresight, but none more than Malbeth. He predicted the final destruction of the kingdom of Arthedain, which befell exactly as he had foretold. I will examine this work carefully. Who knows what other visions are here recorded? It may be that we will find something of value to us in this time of trouble. You did well in bringing this to me. Take this in way of thanks.
I am happy to have been of service. Thank you, and farewell.
Eradan, I am glad of this chance to speak with you. I wish to tell you how proud I am of all you have accomplished. Halbarad has taught you well, and your acts of courage honor the memory of our brothers who fell at Sarn Ford. Knowing I have the loyalty of such men strengthens my resolve.
I would like to know more about those chosen to be part of your fellowship.
Who is it that interests you?
What about this man of Gondor, the one called Boromir? If he hails from Gondor, then he is one of our long-sundered kin. But what else do you know of him?
Boromir is the son of Denethor, the steward of Gondor. I had never met him before Elrond's council, but long years ago, under another name, I served his grandfather Ecthelion. The men of Gondor are valiant and strong, and by all accounts Boromir is foremost among them in courage and skill at arms. I suspect we will have need of his sword before our quest is through.
Tell me about the wood elf, Legolas.
It is fitting that we have a representative of the Eldar, the Elves, along with us on this venture. They have been foes of Sauron since before the ancestors of the Dúnedain first returned to the shores of Middle-earth. Legolas is keen of eye and ear, and he is unmatched as a bowman. His arrows seldom miss their mark.
What can you tell me of the dwarf Gimli?
I have spent little time among dwarves, but Gimli is one of Durin's folk, and the dwarves of that line are trusted by Elrond, in spite of the differences that sometimes divide elves and dwarves. If Gimli is like most of his kin, he will prove loyal and stout-hearted, enduring in hardship and fierce in battle.
What about these other hobbits? Is it wise to send so many of the little folk on this quest?
We are asking much of Frodo. Until recently, he had never set foot outside the confines of the Shire. It will be a comfort for him to have the familiar companionship of his friends and kin, in the face of so much that will be new and frightening. I have traveled with these hobbits, and they proved far more courageous and hardy than many would suspect.
What about Gandalf? What can you tell me of him?
To know all there is to know of Gandalf would require a lifetime study. There is much about him that remains a mystery, even to me. Yet he is a relentless foe of Sauron, and without his vigilance the ring would already be in the hands of the enemy. His wisdom and leadership will be of great value to the Fellowship.
I feel I should accompany you on your quest. Let me go south with you.
The Ring-Bearer's companions have already been chosen, and I will not gainsay the wisdom of Elrond and Gandalf in this matter. I know it is hard for you to remain behind, but until now you have always dedicated yourself to protecting the people of the North. I would ask you to continue to do so, for the servants of the enemy are found in many places, not in Mordor alone.
I gather you had never heard of Agandaûr before these recent events.
I had never heard nor dealt with Agandaûr specifically, but I know his kind. Years ago I served in disguise in the armies of Gondor, where I contended with the corsairs of Umbar, who were often led by those akin to Agandaûr. These black Númenóreans are a corrupt and wicked race. They worship Sauron as a god, and seek the utter destruction of all who oppose him.
You go now to claim your rightful place as the King of Gondor.
Above all, I go to help Frodo fulfill his quest. For unless the ring is destroyed, Gondor will soon fall, king or no king.
You have traveled a great deal. Is there anything you can tell me of the Etenmoors?
Only that it is a dangerous and unforgiving place. My own grandfather Agandaûr was slain by trolls in the Etenmoors. It is important we learn if the enemy is active in the moors, but we do not send you there lightly. Be on your guard at all times while you venture there.
Good luck to you.
Greetings, my friend. What can I help you with?
Thank you, Master Elrond. I had best be on my way. Pardon my curiosity, but you don't appear to be one of Elrond's people.
No, I am one of the woodland folk of Mirkwood. My name is Legolas Greenleaf, the son of Thranduil, king of the Woodland Realm. But I too am curious. You don't appear to be one of the men of Dale, nor one of the Beornings.
I'm Eradan, one of the Rangers of the North, the Dúnedain.
Ah, one of those who follow Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
Tell me about Mirkwood.
Mirkwood is the greatest woodland in all of Middle-earth. It was called Greenwood the Great, before the shadow of Sauron fell over it. In ages past, it was a place of great beauty. But now, it is filled with darkness and dread, save only in the north where my father's realm is maintained.
What brought you on such a long and perilous journey?
Unpleasant business. My father sent me to report the escape of Gollum, a creature Aragorn had entrusted to our care.
What can you tell me about this Gollum?
A pathetic creature who long held the Ring of Power. The evil of the ring has left him twisted and tormented. His only thought is to recover what was taken from him.
How did Gollum manage to escape your guard?
Not from a lack of watchfulness, but perhaps from too much kindness. We occasionally allowed Gollum to go about the wood under close guard. But on one of these ventures, the guards were attacked by orcs from Dol Guldur. In the confusion, Gollum escaped. We followed his tracks southward for many leagues, until it drew near to Dol Guldur. There, it became too dangerous to pursue him any further.
What is this place, Dol Guldur?
A stronghold of the enemy in the south of Mirkwood. It was once the dwelling of the Dark Lord, until he was driven out in the year of the Dragon's Fall. But it has once again become a place of great evil. All the darkness that besets Mirkwood has its source in Dol Guldur.
Will you be departing for your home soon?
No. I have been chosen to represent Elvenkind among the Company of the Ring. I will be accompanying the halfling, Frodo Baggins, on his journey south.
It seems strange that with so many elves in his own household to consider, Elrond chose to make you a member of the Fellowship.
I asked for the privilege, and Elrond did not refuse me. I feel he may have been relieved not to lose any of his household to this quest. He will have need of all his strength, should the enemy move against Imladris.
I am curious why you would volunteer for this.
Partially to make amends for the loss of Gollum, but more so because this will be the final chapter in our long struggle against the darkness. And I wish to have a hand in our final victory. Or at least, to stand in the forefront of our last act of defiance.
May fortune favor your fellowship in the days ahead, Legolas.
My Govannen, well met and welcome to the safe haven of Imladris.
My Govannen, Lady Arwen. It is a great honor.
The Dúnedain are always welcome here. You have endured great danger and given us urgent warning of a new threat to the north. For this, we honor you, Eradan.
It is my duty as a ranger, nothing more. I am glad to be of service to my Lord Aragorn.
You show the modesty worthy of a hero. Estelle and my brothers have spoken highly of your courage at Fornost, and I thank you for your part in seeing to my brother's safe return. Please, take your ease and rest a while in our halls. You will find all your heart could desire, whether it be food, drink, song, or storytelling.
Estelle? The name means hope. But who is this Estelle you spoke of?
Forgive me. I forget that not all the Dúnedain know of this. Estelle was the name given to your chieftain, Aragorn, as he grew up in Imladris.
It is a good name. How did he come to be known as Estelle?
As a ranger, you must know of the practice of bringing the child of a chieftain to Imladris to be fostered. But you may not know how great the danger was at the time. Aragorn was but 2 years of age when his mother, Gilrain, brought him here after his father was slain by an orc arrow, Isildur. Elrond became like a father to him. Knowing the enemy sought ever for a living heir of Isildur, he renamed the boy Estelle to keep his true name and lineage hidden. Aragorn was 20 before Elrond revealed these things to him and gave him tokens of his heritage. But he remains Estelle to me, for he is my heart's hope, even as he is the hope of the Dúnedain.
The Dúnedain are not given to idle gossip, but I have heard that you pledged yourself to Aragorn. It would be a joyous thing if true.
Long ago, I pledged myself to him beneath the golden boughs of Lothlorien, saying to him, "Dark is the shadow, and yet my heart rejoices, for you, Estelle, shall be among the great, whose valor will destroy it." Yet there is much pain in this choice, for I am Elrond's daughter and half-elven. To cleave to Estelle, I must forsake my immortal life and become mortal, accepting the bitter with the sweet. Even should Imladris endure this war, Elrond will leave Middle-earth, and we will be parted beyond the end of the world. It is the price I must pay to bring love and hope to Estelle, to Aragorn.
Would that I had the leisure to enjoy the peace of Imladris, but Elrond has asked me to scout the Ettenmoors. My companions and I must leave as soon as may be.
Then I will not keep you, but we may be of service to one another. I am helping my father brew a potion known as Miraval. One sip of Miraval can renew heart and soul, and bring new vigor to weary limbs. I am in short supply of certain rare ingredients that may be found in the Ettenmoors. If I gave you a list of the ingredients, perhaps you could bring any you find while carrying out your mission. With enough ingredients, I will return the favor by brewing an extra flask that you may have for your own use.
Gladly, Lady Arwen. That is a generous offer. Should I find what you require, I will return to you once my mission is complete.
Hello, you are one of the Dúnedain, are you not? Please allow me to introduce myself. Bilbo Baggins at your service.
Eradan, at yours.
Always happy to meet one of the Guardians of the North. I've heard about what you and your friends did to help my Frodo and the Dúnedain reach Rivendell safely. You'll have to tell me all about it one of these days so I can write it all down properly.
Tell me about Frodo. Is he your son?
Oh no, he's not my son. Actually, he's my first cousin once removed. And also my second cousin once removed. Well, it's complicated, but we share a great-grandfather. The poor lad was orphaned at an early age, and so I adopted him. Made him my heir, all nice and legal, while simultaneously dashing the greedy hopes of my odious relations, the Sackville Baggins. He's a good lad, Frodo. I only wish he hadn't inherited my troubles along with my estate. I hope that Gandalf and the Dúnedain will keep him safe in the days ahead.
The Dúnedain? In the Elvish, that signifies man of the West. One of my people.
Yes, indeed, but when I say it, I mean Aragorn, of course. The Dúnedain, he is often called here. A remarkable man, Aragorn, and a good friend. I almost wish that I could accompany him on his grand quest, but I'm far too old for adventures now. I only hope I will be spared long enough to write it all down.
Can you tell me how Frodo came to be in possession of the Ring of Power?
Well, yes, that was through me, I'm afraid. I found the ring by happenstance while lost beneath the roots of the Misty Mountains. I won it, that is to say, I took it from the creature Gollum. Of course, I did not know the full story of the ring until only a few days ago. I thought it was merely a magical bauble with the power to make the wearer invisible. I only used it to avoid unwelcome visitors. Imagine that old ring of mine causing such a fuss. I would gladly take charge of it again if that would help. Oh, yes. Gladly. Yes. You know, I think it would be best if we discussed something else.
Now you call Rivendell your home?
Well, the Shire will always be my home, I suppose. But this is the perfect place for so many things that I'm more than content to remain here. My days are mostly filled with my writing now.
What is it you write?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. history, my past adventures, family trees. I've even begun a book of translations from the Elvish, although lately I've been working on poetry mostly. Say, maybe you could help me with that. I'm writing a poem for Aragorn, and I'm a bit stuck on a line or two.
Is that so? Well then, let me hear what you have.
Very well, very well. The verse that's giving me trouble runs like this. Ahem. The light from the west is rekindled. Forth from Imladris it springs. Renewed is the hope that has dwindled.
The light from the west is rekindled. Forth from Imladris it springs. Renewed is the hope that has dwindled. To challenge the Lord of the Rings.
Hey now, that's not bad, no. Maybe I can work with that. You missed your calling, my friend. Perhaps you should put down your weapons and take up a pen.
I hope one day I will be able to sit at ease and compose verse. But I fear that day is still far off.
Oh, I'm afraid you're right, but since these old hands are not much use with a sword, I'll just keep on with the pen. Though I'll need some help. Perhaps you could show this to the Lady Arwen. She has her people's gift with words, and this touches her deeply after all.
I will take it to her.
Ah, thanks very much. Be sure to give her my compliments, won't you?
I will indeed. Farewell now.
Well met, friend. It's an honor to make the acquaintance of one of Farin's valiant companions. I'm Glóin, son of Groin, from the Lonely Mountain.
And one of Bilbo's companions in the quest to slay the dragon Smaug. It's an honor to meet such a famous dwarf. I'm Eradan of the Dúnedain.
I heard about that business at Sarn Ford, and they say the three of you brought down an orc chieftain at Fornost. I expect I'll be hearing of even greater deeds before long. It does my heart good to see a dwarf, an elf, and a man working together again. Reminds me of the old days, it does, when the three kindred fought alongside one another in the Battle of the Five Armies.
Then you approve of Farin's alliance with Andriel and me?
I will speak plainly. I may be less than fond of King Thranduil's wood elves for keeping me in their dungeons, but I've no grudge with any of Elrond's folk.
Yet in the Battle of the Five Armies, it was Thranduil's elves who died alongside men and dwarves in battle.
You're right, of course. I can be a stiff-necked old dwarf, but it's time to set aside grievances that were long ago repaid. When dwarves, men, and elves fought together at Erebor, we overcame legions of foes. But we face a far more terrible enemy in the Dark Lord. Standing together against Agandaûr may be more than just a good idea. It may be our only hope to save the North.
We must not forget the Great Eagles. They have been a great help to us, just as they were to you and your companions.
Well spoken. Thorin's quest and the Battle of Five Armies would have met disaster without the help of the Eagles. You're fortunate to have gained the friendship of such noble creatures. Your life may well depend upon your choice of friends, whatever kindred they be.
Sauron's attention will be focused largely on the south. Perhaps if we thwart his plans here, it will distract him. That could benefit Frodo and the Fellowship on their quest.
That's my thoughts upon the matter, too. Be the stinging fly in the ointment, as it were. Only this fly's sting will be deadly. And it's time to be about your business. Goodbye, and good luck to you.
Hello. You are Eradan, aren't you? I was hoping I would get a chance to speak with you.
And you are Frodo Baggins. Aragorn and Gandalf have told me about you. And your burden.
Likewise, they have told me all about you. I wanted to thank you and your friends for all you did to keep us safe on our journey to Rivendell.
Will you tell me about your journey here? Clearly, it was not an easy one.
We had trouble almost from the start. The Black Riders were always just behind us, and we nearly met disaster in the Burrow Downs, at Bree, and again at Weathertop.
What befell you in Bree? We must have just missed crossing paths there.
There were spies in Bree, and our room was attacked in the night. If Strider hadn't convinced us to sleep elsewhere, our journey would have ended then and there.
You entered the Burrow Downs? If you escaped from there, you are made of sterner stuff than I'd imagined. That is no place to go wandering.
You seem to know a great deal about the Burrow Downs already. I'd prefer not to speak about what we found there. It is too horrible to dwell on, even here in the safety of Rivendell.
I am familiar with the ruin known as Weathertop. What happened there?
We were attacked by 5 of the Black Riders. I was foolish, and I put on the ring. One of them wounded me before Aragorn managed to drive them away. The knife that was used against me left a shard in the wound. From what Gandalf has told me, the fragment was working its way inward. If it had reached my heart, I would have become a wraith under the power of the Black Riders. Fortunately, we were able to reach Rivendell in time for Elrond's healing arts to save me.
It is a little thing, this ring, but filled with mischief. Will you show it to me?
No, I mean, I'm sorry, but Gandalf and Elrond have warned me against revealing the ring to anyone, even proven friends. I hope you understand.
Yes, I believe I do begin to understand. It was wrong of me to ask. Forgive me.
There is nothing to forgive. But the ring, it has a strange effect on everyone around it. It is better for it to remain hidden.
It is indeed a heavy burden you bear, Frodo. May you find strength and wisdom on the long road ahead. Farewell. I thought it rare to find one dwarf so far from home. Yet here is another. If I may say, there's something about you that reminds me of my companion Farin.
Gimli, son of Glóin, at your service. Your eyes serve you well, Ranger. Farin is indeed a kinsman of mine, and a most valiant dwarf. And if I may say, your own fame has gone before you. You fought well at Fornost, and I hear much praise of your exploits. Most impressive, though of course you had Farin's help.
I must concede the usefulness of a dwarf in battle. He wields his weapon to good effect, as long as he stays clear of my knees.
Useful? I dare say you'll find him more than useful. Why, he's a hero of the Battle of the Five Armies. Men, elves, and dwarves against orcs and goblins. And many an orc has felt the caress of his axe.
Farin said no word of other kin coming to join him. What brings you here to Imladris?
Aye, it's a long march from the halls of Erebor, but grim news goes on swift feet. It was for Bilbo's sake we came, with a warning that the servants of Sauron wished to find him and his ring. Thrice a Black Rider came to the front gate of Erebor, demanding news of Bilbo, and threatens to return once more. Ere that should happen, King Dain sent my father, Glóin, to seek the advice of Elrond. You've heard the results of the council? I see you have. I have sworn to protect Frodo upon his quest, an oath I will fulfill though all the orcs of Middle-earth stand in my way.
You're bold to defy a Nazgul if it was indeed one of the 9 who came to your door.
Not one of the Nazgul, I think, but it was a fell servant all the same, who spoke in a voice like the hissing of snakes. What sort of man can serve the enemy willingly, even gladly, is beyond my understanding. More cruel than any orc he struck me, full of venom and lies.
Your words fit Agandaûr well. His cruelty knows no bounds.
Could it be so? Perhaps. It is enough that we will not be deceived by promises from Mordor ever again. The only way the Dark Lord gets his ring back this time is when it's tossed into the fires of Mount Doom.
Erebor, the Lonely Mountain. I've heard tales of it. Were you there at the downfall of Smaug?
Sadly, no. I was far to the west in the Blue Mountains where I was born, for my father deemed me too young to join him on Thorin's quest. But once the dragon was destroyed, I hurried with many of my kin to settle there. I've labored some 70 years to restore what was lost and helped build anew the city of Dale from the ruins of the Dragonfire. I've seen the bones of Smaug upon the lake bottom where he fell. Did you know that Bilbo exchanged riddles with the dragon? Now that's a tale he should tell you. We owe much to that fine old hobbit.
Do you know Frodo well?
I know only that he is Bilbo's adopted heir, and that he has chosen of his own free will to bear and destroy the ring. That's all I need to know. I'll protect him to my final breath if need be.
Elrond has asked us to scout the Edenmoors. But what is it that worries you about the north?
I like not what I've heard of this Agandaûr you drove from Fornost. He could yet cause grief untold. There are rumors of gatherings of orcs, goblins, and other deadly foes growing in strength. When the Dark Lord strikes, there will be more than one land that feels his wrath. I fear for the Shire and Rivendell. It would ease my heart to know that you'll look to the defense of the North for as long as you're needed. With help from Farin, of course.
For my part, you have my word on it. And I have no doubt your trustworthy kinsman and Andriel will stand by my side.
The sun shines and all is fair and peaceful here in Imladris. A far cry from the blood and dust of Fornost, is it not? You and your companions did very well there. Indeed, things might have gone badly for us had you not been there. You have earned some time to recover from the toils of battle and hard travel. And I believe you will find no place better for the restoration of body and spirit than this, our home.
How was it you happened to be at Fornost?
We often ride far afield hunting the orcs, wherever we may find them. We came upon signs of a large band of goblins making their way from the orc hold of Mount Gram and followed their trail to Fornost, where we lost no time in attacking them.
Aragorn frequently travels and fights beside you, does he not?
Yes, we often venture forth in company with the Dúnedain, and none more frequently than Aragorn. He was raised here in our household, after all.
How is it that a man came to be raised here among elves?
It is a tradition for the heirs of Isildur to be fostered in the House of Elrond. We have sheltered all the chieftains of the Dúnedain from the time the Northern Kingdom ceased to be down to this present day. Aragorn is the 16th in line from father to son to spend his early years in Imladris. This is one reason why the bond between our two peoples is so strong.
Will you tell me more about your family? I know Elrond is your father.
Yes, it was he who established the refuge of Imladris. My brother and I have dwelt here all our lives. Our sister Arwen dwells here as well, although she has spent many years in the company of our grandmother.
What of your mother? Does she dwell here also?
Our mother has crossed the sea and left Middle-earth. It is a bitter tale to tell. Many years past, on a journey across the Misty Mountains, our mother was captured by orcs. We searched the mountains without rest until we found her at last. Our father was able to heal her injuries, but the memory of her torment was too terrible for her to bear. At last she chose to depart for the Undying Lands. Perhaps now you understand why our hatred for the orcs is so great.
That is a sad tale. I am sorry to have reminded you.
No, my friend. We have drawn swords together in the same cause. You have earned our trust. We do not wish to keep anything hidden from you. This is the evil that we have pledged our lives to destroy, just as you have.
I may be in need of a few things before we set out. Is there anyone I can speak to about that?
If it is provisions or other supplies you need, you should speak with Alari. And if your arms and armor need tending, seek out Angmir. Both of them may be found nearby.
I wish you luck. Goodbye.
My Govanen, Eradan. It is good of you to visit me again. My thoughts stray often to Estelle and my brothers, but also to you and your companions. I continue to brew Miraval, but I am concerned about our dwindling stocks. We still have need of those ingredients I spoke of before.
I have an errand I must not forget. Here is an unfinished poem from Bilbo. He asked for your opinion and advice, saying the subject is very close to your heart.
Then it must be about Estelle. He is fond of writing verses in honor of his good friend, and therefore often comes to me for advice. You may leave it with me, Eradan. I will give it some thought and answer him myself.
Thank you, lady. Perhaps the time will come when I can enjoy these gentle arts, but that time is not today. I must take my leave, lady. Namarie.
Welcome, Dúnedain. Welcome to Imladris. Are you in need of anything to help you in your travels? I have many things in my keeping that might serve you well.
Imladris? Where is that?
Your pardon. This is Imladris, the house of Elrond Half-Elven. We who dwell here call it by that name, but it is more commonly known as Rivendell.
What sort of folk dwell here in Rivendell?
Elves, for the most part. My people have dwelt in Imladris for a very long time indeed. But there are other folk to be found here as well. Elrond welcomes all people of goodwill. The Dúnedain come often, your own folk come occasionally. We are even home to one special hobbit.
Who is this hobbit you speak of?
Bilbo the Magnificent, greatest of the Shire folk. The same hobbit who overthrew the dragon Smaug, although these days he is more interested in poetry than adventure. And food and drink, of course. Keeping a hobbit well fed is enough to keep several stewards busy.
Your home seems so serene. I assume it is kept so by strength of arms?
This is a place of learning and peace, not a fortress or camp of war. But there are those here who wield great power, especially the Lord Elrond. Yet even he does not have the strength to overthrow the Dark Lord, or to resist him if he comes against us with great strength.
I will do my best to see that day never comes.
Nobly spoken. I am told you have done great deeds on behalf of all free folk, and I am certain you will accomplish greater things still. But if you plan to contend with the enemy, you must be well prepared. Perhaps you should examine the stores we have on hand.
What can you tell me about Elrond?
To tell you everything I know of Master Elrond would take many days. Let it suffice to say that he is an elven lord of great and noble lineage, ancient beyond mortal reckoning, and wise beyond measure. None are more skilled as a healer, or more versed in the lore of ages past.
Thank you for your welcoming words, but I do not believe I've had the pleasure.
No, indeed. I am Alare, one of Master Elrond's stewards. I help to manage the needs of his household, including arms and armor. I suspect you might have need of such things.
Welcome, Eradan. I suspected you would find your way here before long.
What task are you working at now?
My fellow smiths and I are preparing for a great work. Soon we will be called upon to reforge the legendary sword Narsil. In the meantime, I've been sharpening my skills by practicing the art of imbuing gemstones.
What can you tell me of this sword, Narsil?
Narsil was the sword of Elendil, a mighty lord of the Dúnedain who defied the Dark Lord in the War of the Lost Alliance. He bore the sword in battle against Sauron, but he was slain and the sword was broken. Since that time, the shards of the sword have been an heirloom of the House of Elendil. It was to remain broken until the day when an heir of Elendil would go to war to reclaim the crown and title of king. That day will come soon, and the sword must be made whole once again.
What do you mean by imbuing?
Simply that certain objects have inherent virtues, and a skilled artisan can, through his craft, increase those virtues and bind them to an object for advantage. Gemstones are very strong vessels for this process. Sadly, appropriate gemstones have become difficult to find. The growing trouble throughout the land keeps travelers away, and our own people are staying closer to home.
Perhaps I can help you with that. I will be traveling soon.
I would be pleased to have your help. I will provide you with a list of the types of gemstones that are of the greatest value to me. If you collect the stones, I am certain I could create something that you would find useful. But to be of use, the gemstones must be of the highest quality. Fortunately, we have as a guest a dwarf of the Lonely Mountain. Glóin is his name, and he is skilled in the appraisal of gems of all sorts. Once you have gathered the stones, allow him to examine them. He'll know if they are suitable.
I have gathered a few artifacts of interest on my travels. I believe you might be able to help me with them.
Ah, these are work of Westernese, the lost land of Númenor. The men who forged these items were skilled indeed. You have the makings of a unique weapon here. Although these components were never part of a single work, I believe you have assembled everything I would need to make it so. The finished weapon would undoubtedly carry some elven qualities.
What do you mean by that?
Only that with a work such as this, the finished product is liable to reflect the nature of the smith who assembles it. If, for example, a dwarven smith were to complete this weapon, it might possess quite different qualities from the weapon I would create.
I would be pleased if you would undertake this task.
Very good. I will get started at once. There, it is finished. May this serve you well, my friend.